Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let's continue with verse 198. It is no crime in you if ye seek of the bounty of your Lord during pilgrimage. Then when ye pour down from Mount Arafat, celebrate the praises of Allah at the sacred monument, and celebrate his praises as he has directed you, even though before this you went astray. Then pass on at a quick pace from the place whence it is usual for the multitude so to do, and ask for Allah's forgiveness, for Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. So when ye have accomplished your holy rites, celebrate the praises of Allah as ye used to celebrate the praises of your fathers, yea, with far more heart and soul. There are men who say, Our Lord, give us thy bounties in this world, but they will have no portion in the hereafter. And there are men who say, Our Lord, give us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and defend us from the torment of the fire. To this will be allotted what they have earned, and Allah is quick in account. Celebrate the praises of Allah during the appointed days. But if anyone hastens to live in 2 days, there is no blame on him, and if anyone stays on, there is no blame on him, if his aim is to do right. Then fear Allah, and know that you will surely be gathered unto him. There is the type of man whose speech about this world's life may dazzle thee, and he calls Allah to witness about what is in his heart, yet is he the most contentious of enemies. When he turns his back, his aim everywhere is to spread mischief through the earth and destroy crops and cattle, but Allah loveth not mischief. When it is said to him, Fear Allah, he is led by arrogance to more crime. Enough for him is hell, an evil bed indeed to lie on. And there is the type of man who gives his life to earn the pleasure of Allah, and Allah is full of kindness to his devotees. O ye who believe, enter into Islam wholeheartedly, and follow not the footsteps of the evil one, for he is to you an avowed enemy. If ye backslide after the clear signs have come to you, then know that Allah is exalted in power, wise. Will they wait until Allah comes to them in canopies of clouds with angels in his train? And the question is thus settled, but to Allah do all questions go back for decision. Ask the children of Israel how many clear signs we have sent them, but if anyone after Allah's favors has come to him, substitutes something else, Allah is strict in punishment. The life of this world is alluring to those who reject faith, and they scoff at those who believe. But the righteous will be above them on the day of resurrection, for Allah bestows His abundance without measure on whom He will. Mankind was one single nation, and Allah sent messengers with glad tidings and warnings, and with them He sent the book in truth, to judge between people in matters wherein they differed. But the people of the book, after the clear signs came to them, did not differ among themselves, except through selfish contumacy. Allah, by His grace, guided the believers to the truth concerning that wherein they differed, for Allah guided whom He will to a path that is straight. Or do ye think that ye shall enter the garden of bliss without such trials as came to those who passed away before you? They encountered suffering and adversity, and were so shaken in spirit that even the messenger and those of faith who were with him cried, when will come the help of Allah? Verily the help of Allah is always near. So this is referring to the bondage, the slave of the children of Israel. They were tested for 400 years to become the slave of the progeny of Ismail, the Egyptian, Correct? You see? So Allah has the covenant with Isaac, but Allah make the descendants of Ismail great nations, enslaving the children of Isaac, But this is done as a trial for them, because they have the covenant with Allah, They ask thee what they should spend in charity. Say, whatever ye spend that is good is for parents and kindred and orphans and those in want, and for wayfarers, and whatever ye do that is good, Allah know it well. Okay, so you must spend your money not on luxurious thing, If you can just buy an ordinary handphone, you don't need the iPhone, The difference of buying the iPhone and buying an ordinary phone, that difference of money, that amount, you can use that for charity, instead of lavish spending on iPhone, expensive, when they actually serve the same purpose, Fighting is prescribed for you. See, fighting, jihad is prescribed for you, and ye dislike it, but it is possible that ye dislike a thing which is good for you, because if you die in fighting, you are a martyr. A martyr will go to heaven without judgment, In fact, once a martyr die, they are in the body of the bird. Their spirit, they are in the body of the bird that are flying about in the heaven, So they are the first one to to see heaven, But they cannot stay in the castle yet, But they will go to the castle. After resurrection day, judgment day, those who die in martyrs straight away will go to heaven without judgment, Straight away go there, and that ye love a thing which is bad for you, but Allah knows, and you know not. They ask thee concerning fighting in the prohibited month. Say, fighting therein is a grave offense, but graver is it in the sight of Allah to prevent access to the path of Allah. To deny Him, to prevent access to the sacred mosque, and drive out its members. Tumult and oppression are worse than slaughter. That's why we must kill the children of Israel, the Jews, the Israel, because they are doing the tumult and oppression. Nor will they cease fighting you until they turn you back from your faith, if they can. And if any of you turn back from their faith and die in unbelief, their works will bear no fruit in this life and in the hereafter. They will be companions of the fire and will abide therein. Those who believe and those who suffered exile and fought and strove and struggled in the path of Allah, they have the hope of the mercy of Allah, and Allah is of forgiving, most merciful. They ask thee concerning wine and gambling. Say, in them is great sin and some profit for men, but the sin is greater than the profit. They ask thee how much they are to spend. Say, what is beyond your needs? Does Allah make clear to you His signs, in order that ye may consider their bearings on this life and the hereafter? They ask thee concerning orphans. Say, the best thing to do is what is for their good. If ye mix their affairs with yours, they are your brethren, but Allah knows the man who means mischief from the man who means good. And if Allah had wished, He could have put you into difficulties. He is indeed exalted in power, wise. Do not marry unbelieving women. That means don't marry pagans, until they believe. A slave woman who believes is better than an unbelieving woman, even though she allures you. Nor marry your girls to unbelievers until they believe. A man slave who believes is better than an unbeliever, even though he allures you. Unbelievers do but beckon you to the fire, but Allah beckons by His grace to the garden of bliss and forgiveness, and makes His signs clear to mankind, that they may celebrate His praise. They ask thee concerning women's courses. Say, they are a hurt and a pollution, so keep away from women in their courses, and do not approach them until they are clean. But when they have purified themselves, ye may approach them in any manner, time, or place ordained for you by Allah. For Allah loves those who turn to Him constantly, and He loves those who keep themselves pure and clean. That's why cleanliness is holiness, Your wife are as a tear unto you, so approach your tear when or how ye will, but do some good act for your souls beforehand, and fear Allah, and know that ye are to meet Him in the hereafter, and give these good tidings to those who believe, and make not Allah's name an excuse in your oath against doing good, or acting rightly, or making peace between persons, for Allah is one who hears and knows all things. Allah will not call you to account for thoughtlessness in your oaths, but for the intention in your hearts, and He is of forgiving, most forbearing. For those who take an oath for abstention from their wife, waiting for 4 months, is ordained. If then they return, Allah is of forgiving, most merciful. But if their intention is firm for divorce, Allah hears and knows all things. Divorced women shall wait concerning themselves for 3 monthly periods, nor is it lawful for them to hide what Allah had created in their wombs, if they have faith in Allah and the last day, and their husbands have the better right to take them back in that period, if they wish for reconciliation. And women shall have rights similar to the rights against them, according to what is equitable, but men have a degree of advantage over them, and Allah is exalted in power, wise. A divorce is only permissible twice. After that, the parties should either hold together on equitable terms or separate with kindness. It is not lawful for you, men, to take back any of your gift from your wife, except when both parties fear that they would be unable to keep the limits ordained by Allah. If ye judges do indeed fear that they would be unable to keep the limits ordained by Allah, there is no blame on either of them if she gives something for her freedom. These are the limits ordained by Allah, so do not transgress them. If any do transgress the limits ordained by Allah, such persons wrong themselves as well as others. So I stop here for a while, to be continued, inshallah.